Welcome to Beauty Talk with me, Cindy Nell-Roberts, and my beauty bestie, Denise Zimba.
Hi.
Today, we are talking about how to be beautiful in front of the camera. Social media and taking photos of ourselves have become a very big part of all of our lives. And now everyone is a model and everyone is an influencer. We want to know how we can look our best and what does it really take. Our expert in studio, joining us, internationally acclaimed photographer specializing in beauty photography. Welcome with us, SJ Van Zyl.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
SJ, you specialize in beauty photography. Your photos are completely insanely amazing. I've had the honor of working with you and can attest to that myself. But we want to know, what is it that makes your photos so great?
Well, it's quite a loaded question, but I think the biggest compliment I've ever received in my life was when someone said, you captured someone's soul. I can see that person's soul in the photo. And I think that to me, you can take a beautiful photo of the best lighting, the most beautiful makeup, the beautiful styling, but if you don't capture the person's essence and soul, and you don't understand who's in front of your camera, then your photo will never have the kind of impact and power, and it won't have the lasting effect that I think all photographers basically crave. So I think that is the secret, is trying to get to the essence of whoever's sitting in front of your camera.
What is a classic trend that you see carries out timeless and time again in your photos?
I think black and white. I have to say, classic black and white, beautiful, simplistic styling. And also, I always go back. I know everyone's always telling you must look forward for inspiration, but I always tend to look back. So I always look at Calvin Klein, the Calvin Klein ads and the photographers from the past. I just feel those are the people that inspire and motivate me. And I always try to bring a bit of that classic, styling and minimalism and just beautiful photography, a little bit of that into where we are now.
You say capturing someone's soul, but it's very difficult to get that comfortable in front of the camera unless you're a model or an actress or you're familiar with the camera. So how do you get to the point as someone on the other side of the lens that's actually being captured to get comfortable enough where a photographer can capture your soul?
I think all of us have reservations about having our photos taken by someone else. And I think that's why selfies are so popular, because you're in control of taking your own photo. But I think when you book a photo shoot and you're going to take photo and have your photos taken by a photographer, you've already taken a step towards trusting someone else to be in charge of what you look like. There's always a wall, I think, around us when someone takes photos of us. But when you book a photo shoot and you are going to take photos, that wall already starts lowering. So I think you're already a little bit less conscious, a little bit less worried and self-aware. But I do feel like if you have a meeting with whoever you are shooting, whether it's a client or a model or an actress, whoever, if you have a meeting beforehand and you just have a conversation, you just like a coffee and you talk about, what everyone's expectations are, why the person is actually doing the photo shoot, and you just become like friends almost, and you're laughing and having fun, that by the time that the camera comes out and you start shooting, you're like old friends. So even if you do something silly or a pose doesn't work or an outfit doesn't look great, you're gonna have a laugh and you're just gonna have a fun time in studio. And as you start having those fun experiences and that casual kind of encounter, the walls and everything will start lowering and lowering, and you'll see by the end of that photo shoot, you'll capture that person's soul because they're so comfortable with you.
So what is a recommended lens that you could use that will capture the soul in terms of?
The soul lens.
Yeah, the soul lens.
The soul lens. I'm trying to think, I would say from a photography perspective and a camera perspective, I would say a 50 mil.
And why is that?
I love getting close to someone.
Okay.
I've always, when I also shoot fashion editorials, I always have people shouting at me, wider. And I'm like, no, I just want to get closer to the people. I don't care about the car, the background. I want the model's face. I want to get close to the subject. So that's been a challenge. So I would say anything that's like a 35 millimeter, 50 millimeter, anything that gets me closer to my subject. I almost want to be part of the group, I want to be part of their DNA, so that's how close I want to get. So anything that gets me there, I'm going to be happy.
Go Go.
Sorry.
Sorry.
And if you're that up close and personal, I imagine you really get to see the skin quite clearly. So what is your best advice for good skin on photos for people who want to be in front of the lens?
I mean, I think we always hear this, but it really truly comes down to what you put inside your body. It plays a big role. So I think nutrition, the way you eat, the way you live, it all manifests outside on your skin. So I think committing to that already makes a big difference. And then also just taking care of your skin in the sense that, you know, I'm a big fan of exfoliating your skin, like with chemical exfoliants, not scrubs and things like that, just to get the texture nice and smooth. And also when you commit to a skincare routine, whether you're using retinols or if you're using exfoliants or whatever, commit to it and actually stick to it. Because I think in today's culture where we're so overwhelmed with products, we use something for 2 weeks, like, oh, it's not really working, you skip it. But it takes a little bit longer to see that. And the more you commit to a skincare routine and an overall health routine, your skin will look beautiful, you know, for a photo shoot. And also less is more, you know, so keep it simple, use things with multi-functional purposes, and yeah, and then you'll get good results. And also sunscreen, just please use sunscreen.
I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, Denise, use sunscreen.
I'm always in the sun, but I never use sunscreen or after
I've
sunscreen.
just disowned you. I don't, you don't exist.
Cindy's already done it.
No, like,
Your top makeup products to use for photos?
at the moment, it is absolutely Catrice's Soft Glam Filter. I'm obsessed with that product. It gives you the most beautiful, glowing skin. I'm not a big fan of a lot of product on the face. I don't like powders. I don't want someone to look different. So any product that makes you look like a beautiful, enhanced version of yourself, like you just had a wonderful holiday, those are my favorites. I'm a big fan of cream blush, liquid blush, anything that's creamy or liquid that gives you a skin-like finish and appearance. So the Soft Glam Filter, in my opinion, gives you beautiful glowing skin, beautiful softness, and you do a touch of concealer on top of that, and it just reads beautifully whether you're shooting with natural light or studio light. It just really, really like gives you Hollywood skin.
It's amazing how it really is becoming very popular. I'm finding myself using less and less filters and really enjoying just being able to, you know, authentically put out what I look like in the world. What is your take on filters?
We opened like Pandora's box here. So, like, I think like I was born in 82, so I only got a cell phone when I was 18. So I cannot imagine when I was a teenager and I was going, you know, like high school is quite challenging for all of us, but I cannot imagine having something like guide me in terms of the way I look or distort my perception of self if I had filters on my phone. So I think of course we all love a little tweaking, and whatever floats your boat is amazing, but I think it's keeping track of not letting those filters start making you feel like there's something wrong with me, I need to fix this. Yeah, or like, you know, you use it on all your Tinder photos and then you actually arrive at the restaurant and the person's like, who's this?
Where's the person I'm supposed to meet?
Yeah, it's like, I'm sorry, can you get out of the way? That person must be behind you. So I think it's a tricky thing. And I think if it starts making you feel bad about yourself and you start questioning your appearance and your self-worth and your value and your place in society, because we're so obsessed with that at the moment, I think it's time to kind of like you said, tone it down, challenge yourself, maybe post a photo where you're not perfectly curated and done up, and just show the world that realness is fine, having pores is fine, having acne is fine, you know, we're all human, you know, and kind of like just changing that perception a little bit, you know.
So would you say that the beauty in photography is leaning more towards a more natural, clean, fresh, authentic kind of look beauty?
Definitely. We've seen it from the European side.
Yeah.
You can look at all the fashion campaigns and the magazine covers. It's definitely leaning back towards that. It's almost interesting. At one time you had like full glam, and now it's almost nothing.
Yeah.
So there's almost like no happy medium, I find. You even now gone full glam, and now we throw everything away, and now it's real and raw. So I feel like, you know, like that you should find happy medium, but we are moving towards much more skincare focused, natural looks and appearances. And even as photographers, we get told by clients often, retouch less. We don't want so much perfection. We want flaws. We want under eye bags. We want pores. We just want that person to look real, because I think they understood that they have a big responsibility towards young people and readers in general, in terms of what they're projecting.
Everybody wants to look good on their photos or feel their best. I mean, I just want to touch on what you said earlier. I don't think it's good for your mental wellness if you're constantly changing the picture of yourself, because you're constantly reaffirming to say that I look different. But you do want to look the best version of yourself and the way that you are, accepting that your beauty is, you are beautiful just the way you are. But how do you look good on a photo when somebody's taking it with your phone? So I'm not in the studio with S here, but I want to look good. My friends are taking pictures. What's your best advice for lighting, angles, body, being comfortable?
Okay, so let's take it from the top. So lighting-wise, you always want to look for, I'm a big fan of natural light, so finding your best natural light. And I find like shower curtains work really well, like see-through white shower curtains. If you hang that in front of your window, you'll get beautiful soft diffuse light. So no matter where you go, you can have like a studio shoot in terms of that. So, and then the other thing is avoid harsh midday sun. You're never going to take nice photos in that type of lighting. And I think often you'll take photos of bad light and you think there's something wrong with me. My photos always look bad, but then you're always taking photos in environments that are not well lit. So I think that is important. And if you are going to take photos in daylight, try to find shade or try to take it underneath something so that the light is a little bit softer. So that is a big thing. I think understanding the power of light and how it actually translates. And also if you want to do something more creative, you can work a little bit of shadows and interesting things like that. And then angles is different for everyone, but I do find very few people look good when you angle the phone or camera from below. That, in my opinion, only works like really well in fashion campaigns when you really want to make someone look like tall and statuesque. But straight on or a little bit elevated, I think, is great for angles in terms of that. And then there's something that we call the turtle in the industry. And it's like when you push your chin out and then you lift your neck and you get like a perfect jawline. And I learned this from the models because they all kept doing this move. And I was like, what is happening? They're all like just...
Oh, I've been doing that.
And the one was... you know. And it has a name. It's the turtle, So they call it the turtle because you're coming out of your shell and then you're lifting your neck.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so now you're converted. You're part of the turtle clan.
And also if you keep the upper body, I'm talking about kikis now, keeping your upper body toward the camera and turning your lower body slightly, so a little bit of an S shape. There are tips and tricks, but I think playing around and having fun with it.
Should be fun. It shouldn't, when it becomes stressful and it becomes too curated, you kind of like lose the magic of photography because it's supposed to be something that you use to express. It's not something that's supposed to like almost like imprison you. And I think that pursuit of perfection and youth and having this curated existence kind of like stops you from playing. So it's very important, like you said, play around, find out what angles work, find out which ones don't work. If you take a really bad one, make fun of it, post it and say, this is really not a good angle for me. Who else has this problem? And it kind of like creates like community around like what works and what doesn't work. And you'll realize that everyone is going through the same challenges and struggles in terms of expressing and capturing themselves.
What definitely doesn't read in people when you're shooting them?
Like what doesn't work?
Yeah, what doesn't work, what doesn't read on camera. I mean, you've worked with a lot of people, but I'm sure there's that one factor maybe, I don't know. Is it even possible because you work with so many people?
It is possible, and people are going to hate me for this, but I hate lashes.
I agree for photos because they make your eyes look narrower. They hardly ever work on photos.
You get people who rock them so well, but I find when people book a shoot, the first thing they do in the makeup artist, not all makeup artists, I mean, there's incredible...
They go for false lashes.
They go for
permanent false lashes.
And that person has never worn lashes before.
For that.
And now they have these lashes on. These things weigh like 4 kilograms to that person. And now they're trying to look their best in the eye. It's just like struggling to stay open.
And it makes you look older.
And always there's always one lash that comes loose. And you don't see it in the photos, and you go home, you download the photos, and then the one lash is there, the other one is over there. And this person is so excited about this beautiful moment. And that's why I said stick to what works for you. I mean, like I said, a lot of people look amazing with them.
Yeah.
But in my experience, if you're new to a photo shoot or if you're trying something new, just curl your lashes, put a lot of mascara on, you'll get the same effect, and you're not gonna have to worry about like having...
What are the settings we have to put on our phone when we take photos? Just quickly.
Like I'm on a Samsung, so I usually do the blurred background one. That one works really well for portraits. So I think it's called portrait, the portrait setting. Portrait works really, really well. Yeah. So that one is always a good one. And then there's like an amazing app called Prequel, I don't know if you've ever worked with that. I don't know if I'm allowed to
No,
promote
wow, no, tell us everything.
Say it again.
Yeah, so Prequel is
Prequel.
it's an app that gives you opportunities to create any look you can think of. So it turns you into a magazine cover, makes you look like a VCR camera, makes it look like a 1952 poster. It's such an amazing creative tool, and you can do so much of it. You can put frames on there, stickers, text. So I think from an expressive point of view and creativity, it really opens the door to like changing a selfie into something that is artistic and tells a little bit more about you.
Noted.
Okay, guys, well, what is your go-to pose for photos? Denise?
I'm gonna start doing the turtle. I just need to do that.
There
I'm
you
gonna
go.
need to
You gotta
practice
do
it,
that.
Push it, yes.
but I'm turtling it out.
Yeah, you've got a bit of a blue steel thing going on.
I do. I like this side of my face just works better. I've tried the other side. I tried to be an equal opportunity offender, but it's just the right side is where it's at. So you're like pushing it forward, turtle, and then just looking back and then doing a bit of it. I always do like a little bit of a funny face because I feel like you have to kind of like cheese it up a little bit because otherwise you're too blue steel. So a little bit of a smirk or like frowning or sticking out your tongue just makes you look a little bit more approachable and real, you know.
Well, that is not the photos I've seen of you, but I'll keep a lookout.
But see, I'm also working on that because, yeah, like I think you also fall into like this is what I do and this is what I do on all the pics. So I'll work on all angles.
But
and all of that.
it's pretty impressive to see someone who lives behind the camera who looks like they could be in front of the camera. I gotta say, I gotta give it to you.
Ja, is mooi.
Oh, guys, it's many years of braces and a lot of Accutane got me here. Trust me, high school was not
Story
smooth.
of our lives.
Yeah, late bloomer.
Yeah.
So yeah, so thank you. I'll take that. Thank you.
Thank you, Denise.
Brilliant. Thank you, guys.
That's it for Beauty Talk. We have had a lot of fun with you. We hope you've learned a lot and stay beautiful.